Have you ever looked at someone in their late 80s or 90s who is still sharp, active, and full of life, and wondered, what's their secret? It almost seems unfair sometimes, doesn't it? While many of us are starting to feel the aches and slowdowns that come with the years, some seem to just keep on thriving, defying the clock in a way that feels truly remarkable. It's easy to think it's all down to good genes or just plain luck. But the truth is, while those things play a part, a surprisingly large amount of that vibrant longevity comes down to something much more within our control, our daily habits. The painful reality for many is feeling like the best years are behind them, or that decline is inevitable. But it doesn't have to be that way. There are certain patterns, certain ways of living that people who live long, healthy lives seem to share. They aren't complicated secrets. In fact, they're often surprisingly simple things. In this video, we're going to uncover 6 of these powerful habits that often reveal you're on a path to not just living past 90, but truly living well into your 90s. Pay close attention, because by the end, you might find you're already doing some of them. Or you might discover something that could make a real difference in your own journey. Watch to the end for something that will surprise you about how these habits work together. Let's dive right in and explore the first of these habits that seems to be a hallmark of those enjoying life well into their later decades. It's something so fundamental, something our bodies are quite literally designed to do. Yet it's often the first thing we let slip as life gets busy or as those little aches creep in. I'm talking about movement. But not necessarily running marathons or lifting heavy weights unless that's genuinely your joy and you're able. The habit isn't about becoming an Olympic athlete overnight. It's simply about making movement a regular, joyful, and non-negotiable part of your day. Think about the people you know who are older and still vibrant. They likely aren't glued to a chair all day. They're walking, they're gardening, they're perhaps doing light exercises, or just generally staying active in their daily lives. Why is this so crucial? Especially as we age. Our bodies are magnificent machines that thrive on being used. When we move, we keep our muscles strong, which is absolutely vital for maintaining balance and preventing falls. A major concern as we get older. Stronger muscles also support our joints, reducing pain and improving mobility. Beyond the obvious physical benefits, movement does wonders for our circulation, helping blood flow freely to every part of our body, including our brain. This is key for keeping our minds sharp. Regular movement also helps manage weight, supports a healthy heart, helps regulate blood sugar, and even boosts our immune system. But perhaps one of the most powerful effects of movement, and one that's often underestimated, is its impact on our mood. Even a short walk outside can clear your head, reduce stress, and lift your spirits. Sunlight exposure during outdoor movement also helps regulate our body clocks and provides vitamin D, which is important for bone health and overall well-being. It releases endorphins, those feel-good chemicals that are nature's own mood boosters. So, how do you make movement a habit if it isn't already? Start small. If walking for 30 minutes feels daunting, try 10 minutes. If going outside is difficult, march in place during commercials or stand up and stretch every hour. Find something you genuinely enjoy. Maybe it's dancing to your favorite music in the kitchen, tending to your plants, joining a gentle exercise class designed for seniors, or simply taking a slow stroll around the block. The key is consistency, not intensity. Doing a little bit each day is far more beneficial than doing a lot once a week and then recovering the rest of the time. Listen to your body, of course, and respect its limits. But gently encourage yourself to do a little more when you feel able. Think about it as tending to your garden. Consistent watering and care yield beautiful results. Your body is your garden. Simple things like taking the stairs instead of the elevator when you can, parking a little further away, or even just standing up regularly throughout the day make a difference. It all adds up, People who live long, healthy lives don't necessarily run marathons, but they find ways to incorporate movement into the fabric of their daily existence. They move because it feels good, because it allows them to do the things they love, and because they instinctively know it keeps them vital. It's not a chore for them, it's just part of living. It's about maintaining functionality and independence for as long as possible. Can you still comfortably get up from a chair? Can you carry groceries? Can you walk around your home and neighborhood? These are the kinds of functional movements that regular activity preserves. Think about the simple joy of being able to get down on the floor to play with grandchildren or tend to a pet. And more importantly, being able to get back up again. Movement supports that independence. It gives you the freedom to continue engaging with the world on your own terms. And remember, it's never too late to start. Even beginning a gentle walking program or incorporating some chair exercises can yield significant benefits in terms of strength, balance, and overall energy levels. The body is incredibly resilient and responsive to positive changes. No matter your age, it's a testament to the power of adaptation. So, make a commitment to move your body gently and consistently. It's not just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. Now, speaking of nourishing our bodies through movement, what we put into our bodies is just as crucial for vibrant longevity. Let's talk about the next habit, building on the foundation of staying active. The next habit we see in people who live long and healthy lives revolves around what they choose to eat. Again, this isn't about following restrictive, joyless diets. It's about developing a sustainable, enjoyable pattern of eating that nourishes the body from the inside out. Think colorful, think simple, think real food. Those who thrive into their 90s often prioritize whole, unprocessed foods. This means plenty of vegetables and fruits, aiming for a variety of colors to get a wide range of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. It means choosing whole grains over refined ones, like opting for wholemeal bread or brown rice instead of white. It means including sources of lean protein, which are essential for maintaining muscle mass. Remember how important that is for movement and balance, and keeping us feeling full and satisfied. This could come from sources like fish, poultry, beans, lentils, or nuts. Healthy fats are also key, things like avocados, olive oil, nuts, and seeds. These are important for brain health, reducing inflammation, and absorbing those fat-soluble vitamins. What they tend to limit are processed foods, sugary drinks, and excessive amounts of saturated and trans fats. These things can contribute to inflammation, weight gain, and a host of health problems that can shorten lifespan and reduce quality of life. But it's not just about what you eat. It's also about how you eat. Often, people who live long, healthy lives eat mindfully. They pay attention to their hunger and fullness cues, eating when they are hungry and stopping when they are comfortably full, not stuffed. They often eat meals at regular times, which helps regulate digestion and metabolism. There's also a strong social component to eating in many long-lived cultures. Meals are times for connection, for slowing down and enjoying the company of others. Eating together isn't just about getting nutrients. It's about building relationships and reducing stress, which brings us back to other important habits we'll discuss. Practical tips for adopting this habit. Make small, sustainable changes. Try adding one extra vegetable to your dinner each night. Swap out sugary drinks for water or unsweetened tea. Choose fruit for dessert instead of cakes or biscuits most of the time. Plan your meals a little to make healthier choices easier. Keep healthy snacks like fruit, nuts, or yogurt on hand. Don't aim for perfection, aim for progress. It's about a pattern over time, not about being perfect every single day. Think about the energy you get from vibrant, whole foods versus the energy slump you might feel after eating something heavily processed or sugary. Your body is remarkably good at telling you what it needs if you listen. People who are thriving in their later years often have a good relationship with food. They see it as fuel. Yes, but also as pleasure and connection. They don't deprive themselves entirely, but their baseline diet is built on nutritious foundations. They likely learned over the years what foods make them feel good and which ones don't, and they adjust accordingly. Hydration is another often overlooked part of this habit. Drinking enough water throughout the day is crucial for everything from digestion to cognitive function. As we age, our sense of thirst can diminish, so it becomes even more important to be mindful of staying hydrated. Simple strategies like having a glass of water first thing in the morning, keeping a water bottle handy, or drinking water before each meal can make a big difference. Again, it's about simple, consistent choices that add up over time. Nourishing your body well provides the energy and resilience needed to engage in all the other habits that support a long, vibrant life. It's hard to want to move or connect with others if you feel sluggish or unwell from poor nutrition. Now, after nourishing our bodies and keeping them moving, let's talk about something equally vital for repair and restoration. So, we've talked about keeping our bodies moving and fueling them with good food. Now, let's turn our attention to a habit that is absolutely essential for our bodies and minds to repair, regenerate, and function optimally, and one that often becomes more challenging as we get older: getting enough quality sleep. You see, people who live long, healthy lives often have a consistent relationship with sleep. They understand its value and prioritize it. It's not just about the quantity of sleep, though getting around 7 to 9 hours is generally recommended for adults, but also the quality. Deep, restorative sleep is when our bodies do so much crucial work: repairing tissues, consolidating memories, clearing out waste products from the brain, and regulating hormones. When we don't get enough quality sleep, it impacts everything: our mood, our concentration, our immune system, our physical health, and our ability to manage stress. Chronic sleep deprivation is linked to a whole host of negative health outcomes, including increased risk of heart disease, diabetes, and cognitive decline. So, what are some habits that support good sleep? Consistency is key. Trying to go to bed and wake up around the same time each day, even on weekends, helps regulate your body's internal clock. Creating a relaxing bedtime routine signals to your body that it's time to wind down. This could be reading a book, taking a warm bath, listening to calming music, or doing some gentle stretching. Making sure your bedroom environment is conducive to sleep is also important. Dark, quiet, and cool. Limiting screen time, especially in the hour or two before bed, can make a big difference, as the blue light emitted from devices can interfere with melatonin production, the hormone that helps us feel sleepy. What about those common sleep disruptors? Many people find that limiting caffeine and alcohol, especially in the afternoon and evening, improves their sleep. While alcohol might make you feel sleepy initially, it often disrupts sleep later in the night. Eating a heavy meal right before bed can also be disruptive. Finding ways to manage stress during the day also impacts how well you sleep at night, as a racing mind is a common barrier to falling and staying asleep. This is where habits like mindfulness or gentle relaxation techniques can be incredibly helpful. If you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night and can't fall back asleep after 20 minutes or so, it's often better to get out of bed. Go to another room and do something quiet and relaxing until you feel sleepy again, rather than tossing and turning and getting frustrated in bed. This helps your brain associate your bed with sleeping, not with wakefulness and frustration. Naps can be wonderful, but for some people, long or late afternoon naps can make it harder to sleep at night. If you nap, try to keep it short, 20 to 30 minutes, and earlier in the day. It's true that sleep patterns can change as we age. It might feel like you wake up more easily or earlier, but the need for restorative sleep doesn't diminish. People living long, healthy lives often have found a rhythm with their sleep that works for them. They respect their body's need for rest and prioritize it. They don't see sleep as a luxury. They see it as a fundamental pillar of health. Just as important as diet and exercise, they understand that a well-rested body and mind are more resilient, more capable of handling life's challenges, and more able to fully enjoy each day. They might not talk about sleep hygiene in technical terms, but their habits naturally support it. They have a routine, they wind down in the evening, and they generally respect their body's signals of tiredness. It's a quiet, consistent habit that pays huge dividends over the long term in terms of physical health, mental clarity, and emotional well-being. Now, as important as taking care of our physical selves is, our well-being is also deeply connected to our relationships and our place in the world. Beyond taking care of our physical bodies through movement, nutrition, and sleep, people who flourish into their 90s consistently demonstrate another vital habit: maintaining strong social connections. Loneliness and isolation are increasingly recognized as significant health risks, comparable in their negative impact to smoking or obesity. Humans are inherently social creatures. We are wired for connection. Having meaningful relationships provides emotional support, reduces stress, offers a sense of belonging, and keeps our minds engaged. Think about the vibrant older adults you know. They are often involved in their communities, stay in touch with family and friends, or participate in groups or activities. They aren't isolated. Social interaction provides stimulation for our brains, helps maintain cognitive function, and protects against feelings of depression and anxiety. It gives us people to lean on during tough times and people to celebrate with during good times. It provides perspective and keeps us connected to the wider world. How do you cultivate this habit? It can take many forms. For some, it's about nurturing relationships with family, children, grandchildren, siblings, or extended family. For others, it's about friendships, both old and new. This might mean regular phone calls, video chats, or in-person visits. It could involve joining clubs or groups that align with your interests: a book club, a gardening group, a walking group, a crafting circle, or a local history society. Volunteering is another powerful way to stay connected and gain a sense of purpose, which is another habit we'll touch upon. Giving your time and skills to help others is incredibly rewarding and puts you in contact with like-minded people. Even simple interactions like chatting with neighbors, the postman, or people you encounter at the shops can contribute to a feeling of connection and belonging. The key is to actively seek out and maintain these connections. It requires effort, especially if mobility or distance is an issue. But with technology, there are more ways than ever to stay in touch. From simple phone calls to video calls with family far away, or joining online communities focused on your hobbies. People who live long, healthy lives understand that relationships need tending, just like a garden. They make time for the people who matter to them. They listen, they share, they offer support, and they are open to receiving it. They know that leaning on others is a sign of strength, not weakness. They laugh together, they share stories, and they create new memories. This interconnectedness provides a crucial buffer against the stresses of life and adds richness and meaning to their days. It's hard to feel down when you feel loved and supported. And when you have opportunities to bring joy to others, a sense of belonging is fundamental to human well-being at any age, and arguably becomes even more important as our social circles might naturally shrink due to life changes. Actively cultivating and maintaining your social network is a habit that pays enormous dividends for both mental and physical health, contributing significantly to a long and vibrant life. It's about feeling seen, heard, and valued, and having the opportunity to see, hear, and value others in return. It fills a fundamental human need that no amount of healthy food or exercise alone can satisfy. Now, speaking of the challenges and stresses of life, learning how to navigate those gracefully is our next important habit. Continuing our exploration of the habits that support a long and vibrant life, we come to the critical skill of stress management. Life, at any age, brings its share of challenges and stresses. How we cope with these stressors has a profound impact on our long-term health. Chronic stress can wreak havoc on the body, contributing to inflammation, weakening the immune system, raising blood pressure, and increasing the risk of various diseases. People who live well into their 90s aren't necessarily living stress-free lives. That's impossible. But they often possess an ability to manage stress effectively. They've developed habits and perspectives that help them navigate difficulties without letting the stress consume them. This isn't about eliminating stress. It's about building resilience and developing healthy coping mechanisms. What does effective stress management look like in practice? It varies from person to person, but often involves finding healthy ways to release tension and calm the nervous system. Simple practices like deep breathing exercises can be incredibly powerful in the moment of stress. Taking a few slow, deep breaths can interrupt the stress response and help you feel more grounded. Mindfulness and meditation, even just for a few minutes a day, can help you become more aware of your thoughts and feelings without getting swept away by them. Spending time in nature, even just sitting in a park or gardening, has been shown to reduce stress levels. Engaging in hobbies you enjoy is another fantastic way to unwind and de-stress, whether it's painting, playing a musical instrument, knitting, woodworking, or anything else that allows you to focus on something you love. Listening to calming music, reading a good book, or spending quality time with pets are all wonderful stress relievers. Another key aspect is perspective. People who cope well with stress often have developed a healthy perspective on life's difficulties. They understand that setbacks are a normal part of life, and that they have the inner strength to get through them. They focus on what they can control, rather than dwelling on what they cannot. They practice acceptance and self-compassion. Instead of criticizing themselves for feeling stressed, they acknowledge it and offer themselves kindness. They understand the importance of setting boundaries, learning to say no when necessary, and not overcommitting themselves. They might also have a practice of gratitude, taking time regularly to appreciate the good things in their life, no matter how small. Focusing on gratitude can shift your mindset and reduce feelings of anxiety and overwhelm. Finding humor in life situations can also be a powerful stress reliever. Laughter really is good medicine. For some, spiritual practices or faith can provide comfort and strength in times of stress. Connecting with something larger than themselves can offer perspective and peace. Ultimately, stress management is about building a toolkit of strategies that work for you and making time to use them regularly. Not just when you're feeling overwhelmed. People who live long, healthy lives have often learned the importance of slowing down, of not being constantly rushed or worried. They've found ways to inject moments of calm and joy into their days, creating a buffer against the inevitable stresses. They understand that taking care of their emotional and mental well-being is just as crucial as taking care of their physical health. It's an ongoing practice, not a one-time fix. And it gets easier with consistent effort. Finding healthy outlets for stress allows the body to return to a state of balance, which is vital for long-term health and resilience. And finally, to round out these essential habits, let's talk about keeping the mind active and engaged, and having a reason to get up in the morning. The final habit we often observe in people who thrive into their 90s is a commitment to lifelong learning and maintaining a sense of purpose. The brain, like the body, needs to be exercised to stay strong and healthy. People who live long, vibrant lives are often curious about the world around them and actively seek new information and experiences. This doesn't mean going back to university, necessarily, though it certainly could if that's something you'd enjoy. Lifelong learning can take many forms. It could be reading books on new subjects, learning a new language or a musical instrument, taking online courses on topics that interest you, doing puzzles and brain games, or simply staying engaged in conversations and current events. Learning new things creates new neural pathways in the brain, helping to maintain cognitive function and potentially delaying cognitive decline. It keeps the mind stimulated and sharp. But beyond just learning, Having a sense of purpose is incredibly important for longevity and well-being. This is about having a reason to get up in the morning, feeling like your life has meaning and that you have something valuable to contribute. Purpose can come from many places. It might be through caring for family members, volunteering for a cause you believe in, pursuing a passion or hobby that brings you joy, mentoring others, or contributing your skills and experience to your community. People with a strong sense of purpose often feel more motivated, have better physical health outcomes, and report higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction. They have something that drives them forward and gives their days structure and meaning. It's about feeling needed and valued, and knowing that you are making a difference, no matter how small. This sense of contribution and engagement prevents feelings of stagnation or irrelevance, which can be detrimental to both mental and physical health. It's the opposite of just passing the time. It's about actively participating in life. Think about the active nonagenarians you admire. They often have projects they're working on, people they care about, or causes they support. They are still engaged with the world and feel they have something left to do or give. This could be as simple as tending a garden that feeds others, sharing your wisdom with younger generations, or mastering a complex craft. The habit of seeking purpose and staying curious works hand in hand with the other habits we've discussed. A sharp mind is more able to find creative ways to stay active and connected. A sense of purpose can motivate you to take better care of your physical health so you can continue doing what you love. Learning new things can be a great way to meet new people and expand your social circle. It all fits together. Cultivating curiosity and actively seeking meaning are not just ways to pass the time in later years. They are fundamental drivers of vitality and resilience. They remind you that every day holds potential for growth, discovery, and contribution, regardless of your age. This mindset shift, from seeing aging as a time of winding down to seeing it as a period of continued growth and purpose, is perhaps one of the most powerful habits of all. So there we have it. 6 habits that seem to be shared threads in the tapestry of lives lived vibrantly well past 90. We've talked about the simple yet profound power of keeping our bodies moving, not necessarily with intense exercise, but with consistent, joyful movement woven into our days. We explored the importance of nourishing ourselves with whole, real foods, seeing meals not just as fuel but as an opportunity for health and connection. We delved into the critical role of getting enough quality sleep, the time when our bodies and minds repair and rejuvenate. We highlighted the vital necessity of staying socially connected, reminding ourselves that we are meant to be in relationship with others, and that connection nourishes our spirits as much as food nourishes our bodies. We discussed the art of managing stress, finding healthy ways to navigate life's challenges, and cultivate inner peace and resilience. And finally, we emphasize the power of lifelong learning and maintaining a sense of purpose, keeping our minds engaged and feeling that our lives have meaning and value every single day. Now, I know looking at a list like this might feel a bit overwhelming. You might be thinking, oh dear, I'm not doing half of these. Or maybe you're already doing some, but feel you could do better in others, and that's perfectly okay. The surprising truth I wanted to share with you is that it's not about doing all of these perfectly, all the time, starting tomorrow. It's about progress, not perfection. It's about taking small, consistent steps. The beauty of these habits is that they build upon each other. When you move more, you often sleep better. When you eat well, you have more energy to socialize. When you feel connected to others, stress feels less overwhelming. When you have a purpose, you're more motivated to take care of yourself physically. It's a beautiful interconnected web. And it's never, ever too late to start weaving new threads into your own life. Even adopting one new habit, or making a small improvement in one area, can create a ripple effect, making it easier to embrace others. Maybe you decide to start with a 15-minute walk every morning, Or commit to calling a friend or family member twice a week. Or try a 5-minute guided meditation before bed. Celebrate these small wins. Be patient and kind to yourself. There will be days when you slip up, and that's perfectly normal. Just pick yourself back up the next day and keep going. The goal isn't just to add more years to your life, but to add more life to your years. These habits aren't restrictions. They are pathways to greater vitality, independence, joy, and resilience. They are tools that empower you to live fully, to continue growing, contributing, and enjoying the world around you for as long as possible. Imagine the richness of having more years not just on the earth, but years where you feel well enough to engage with loved ones, pursue your passions, learn new things, and continue making memories. That is the promise held within these simple, powerful habits. It's within your reach. Starting today, right where you are. Every small choice you make towards nurturing your body, mind, and spirit is an investment in your future well-being and your ability to live a long, vibrant life. Which of these habits do you feel you're already doing well, or which one are you perhaps most interested in starting or improving? I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Sharing our journeys can be a great source of inspiration and support for each other. If you found this video helpful and encouraging, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel and lets us know we're providing content you value. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel for more tips and insights on living your best life at every age. Thank you for watching. Remember, the power to live a long, healthy, and vibrant life lies significantly in the choices you make each day. Live your best life, today and every day.